Alright guys, this little box of stuff right here is actually stuff that I scored at an estate sale quite a few weeks back and never got around to putting it away and kind of forgot about it, and I'm getting tired of tripping on it. And there's nothing really spectacular in here, but I just wanted to bring up a point. Basically it's a tip I had mentioned in the past, but you know, in case you haven't seen my other videos, I got this stuff at an estate sale. And whenever you go to estate sales, typically they end up being clean outs of houses because the house has probably been sold and the people need to vacate, and oftentimes they'll hire these estate sale companies to come in and clean the place out. Well, you know, there'll be all kinds of things depending on what was in the estate, and it can be kind of hit or miss. And one of the often, what I find, one of the often overlooked deals at these sales is often what they'll do is they'll take all of the chemicals that they find in the basement and the garage, and they'll tend to put those all in one place and put them on a shelf. And I constantly see people that go to these sales just walk right past and not even give a second look to the stuff that's on the shelf. And what I tend to do is if I go by there, you know, first thing in the morning, everybody's trying to scoop a deal on something, and they're a little less willing to deal. As the day goes on, the price comes down. You hit one of these estate sales midday, and you go and you see the chemicals, and they might have chemicals on the shelf. They might put a sign up like $3 each or $2 each or whatever. Oftentimes later in the day, they're practically giving the stuff away. So I think I paid $15 for everything in this box, which is a real steal because this is Armor All. It feels like it's full. 2 cans of, no, what do I got here? I got a can of silicone spray lubricant. That feels like it's full. PB Blaster feels like it's pretty full. 2-stroke oil, brand new, unused. This is the one that's the exact size, so you know you can mix exactly. I forget how many gallons this will make, like a 2.5 gallon can maybe, or something like that, or 2 gallons. There was a couple of those. Home Light exact mix. Synthetic blend. Good for your little gas trimmer or something like that. I wouldn't use it in your outboard. Liquid wrench. Super penetrant. Feels pretty full. Super Oil. The premium household oil. I think this is probably this gunk and liquid wrench from the makers of liquid wrench. Solder Seal. This is probably this company's version of 3-in-1 oil. The all-around little machine oil. So got all of that, and then there were actually 5 cans, but I didn't take one because it was partially open. But these are 4 full cans of 4-stroke engineered fuel. And what this is this is a specially blended fuel that basically is designed to be the perfect thing to put into your engine when you want to store your engine. What's it say here? It says this particular brand is True Fuel 4-cycle engineered fuel. And what this says is it's a powerful detergent, prevents deposits and cleans the fuel system. It's a friction modifier, so it lubricates engine parts and improves fuel economy. And it's a stabilizer, prevents corrosion and extends shelf life. So this is not something you would want to buy and use all the time because it could get pretty expensive. The whole idea behind this stuff is that it's supposed to be good to use in your engine when you store the engine for the season, like if it's your snow blower, or, you know, and you're storing it all summer long, that kind of thing. But anyways, that stuff's expensive to buy in the store, so I thought it was well worth the it might have been $10, 10 or 15 bucks I gave for that whole box. Oh, it was 15 because I forgot that these items they just didn't fit in the. This is almost full. Oops, multi-purpose remover. This is great for taking off sticker residue, tar, latex paint that you spill on something. Takes off a whole bunch of different things. It's pretty good stuff. I've used that before, but I've got a little like this size container of that stuff, and I want to say it cost me like $4 or $5 at the Home Depot. I can imagine how much it costs for this one. Oh, here's actually a sticker on here. Well, they got it for $3.99, so this must have been hanging around because You can't buy that for $4 today. Goo Gone, basically the same product as that. And then a little can of Marvel lubricating oil. I've got a couple of these around here. When I went back to the flea market a few weeks after I bought that cabinet to pick it up, I saw a vendor out in the parking lot set up at a table there, and he was just getting rid of stuff cheap. So I started looking through, and I started finding items, a couple items here and there that interest me. And at first I was like, I don't even want to bother. But then when I found enough items, I went back, put them all in a pile, and said, what do you want to do for the whole lot? If you ever watch the show American Pickers, Frank and Mike, they were always talking about bundling, that they're bundlers. And it's true, because oftentimes you can get a better deal if you just start to pile the whole pile together, because especially if it's like a flea market vendor who's just looking to move inventory, you can get some really good deals. So I put this whole thing together. I think I offered, I asked how much you want for it. I think he said $15. I think I offered 10. I think we settled for like $12. Gave him the extra $2. Figured no harm, no foul. Brand new in the package, never used. This is the kind that you would definitely see in a hardware store or like a Home Depot or whatever. 22-inch ball bearing draw slides. These are handy to have and keep around for repairing kitchen drawers and stuff like that. And I forget what they get for these in the store, but you know, considering what I gave for this whole package, I didn't pay much at all. Probably ended up paying $1 or $2 for this. A rubber mallet that looks like it's gotten very little use over the years. This is a Workforce brand. Oh, another one of these style hammers. I forget who makes these. I think I've got one of these now. But the ends on this one actually are in better shape. These ends, I believe they unscrew and can be replaced when they get worn down really bad. Somewhere on here I think there is a maker. But these are kind of, just the look of this hammer is kind of a dead giveaway who makes it. I just, off the top of my head, I can't remember who the heck makes these. I wonder if the red and the green actually denote something. I don't know if they denote a hardness or what. I always thought that was kind of interesting. Don't hit it with this end. Stop. Hit it with this end. Go. Anyways, dead blow mallet, a small one. I've never seen one this size actually. That's the shot-filled dead blow mallet. That looks like that's not going to take too many whacks more on that end before it fails. Set of rusty drill bits. These got that gold coating on it, so it's got some kind of a... Oh yeah, so they're calling this a 29-piece titanium drill bit set. Looks like it got wet. You can see, you know, they're rusty and everything. But with that coating on there, I mean, I'm not even going to bother cleaning these. I'm just going to chuck them right in the drill and let the friction of cutting clean them up for me. Not really worried about it. Just a nice little extra set of drills. Not complete also, but you know, that's why I got it for next to nothing. Found these 3 nut drivers in a box. These are actually Professional brand. They say Professional USA. Oh, I'm sorry, they're Master Mechanics, but they're made in the USA. You know, extra nut drivers are nice to have, especially if you're putting together an auxiliary toolbox like to keep in your trailer or your truck or something like that. The only USA wrench, combination wrench. This is an 18mm SK. Let's see, a couple of these door stops, solid door stop. These screw usually into the baseboard on the wall behind where a door is going to open into, so that somebody can't open the door and have the knob hit the wall. So I don't know, a lot of people don't probably even know what those are, but I happen to have a use for one of these, so I figured, well, no sense in, there's 2 of them there, no sense in leaving one behind. And then a couple more C-clamps, and I don't really need any more C-clamps at this point, but these were USA made. These are Brink and Cotton. Brink and Cotton. Now that one's a Brink and Cotton, and this one is a, well, it says malleable. I know that's not anything. Let's see. All right, this one, it's just got a 5 on it. I guess that would denote that it's a 5-inch. And I do believe this does say made in the USA on it. It says, yeah, it says US, yeah, made in USA. So I'm not sure who makes this one. Maybe that is a brand, but I mean, malleable is just a property of steel, so that's what I thought that was. But anyways, and then these 2 little spring clamps. These actually marked right on them. Ocean State Job Lot, $1.69 a piece. And he gave me this milk crate to carry it all in, so I was quite happy with this little haul for as cheap as it was. Some of this stuff I'm going to leave out because I'm going to put it away right away. All right, this next group of treasures here, this is from the used tool store. The owner of the used tool store, he tries to post on Monday and Tuesdays he's closed, and so typically on Tuesday, sometimes he doesn't get it posted until late in the evening. He posts a video that you can link to from his website, and essentially he goes through the store and he talks about some new arrivals, and he'll talk about all the stuff that's there, and he'll throw out prices on a lot of items, and if it's something of interest he tries to include it. And sometimes you just got to kind of have an eagle eye and watch, because sometimes he won't stop and talk about something, but you'll spot a box and you'll see something that you're interested in. So I don't exactly remember all the details, but what I spotted was this Starrett indicator. This is a long throw indicator with a large face, a nice large dial on that thing. You can see this is a polar water bottle. It's about the diameter of a... This is about the size of a soda can in diameter, so you can see that's a nice big one. And it's marked right on here that it's a 3.000 range, so I know it's a 3-inch. This is actually on number 656-3041. This is quite an expensive indicator. This one's got a couple of issues. It doesn't have the original case. It could really use a new plastic, I think. Actually, I haven't even tried cleaning that yet. Well, I like that. That cleaned up nicely. I was going to say that it needs a new... I call these crystals, but this is actually plastic. But I don't know, I'm in the habit of calling it a crystal because on a watch it's a crystal usually. It's a quartz. But anyways, that actually cleaned up really nice. So alright, I guess we could take that off the list. It doesn't need a new one of those. It's got little scratches here and there, but nothing that I would think would warrant replacing the whole face there, cover. And then the other issue is on the back here, you can see that right here off the back, there should be a tab with a hole through it to mount this indicator, or to give you an ability to mount it in that fashion. Now, you might think that somebody broke that. That more than likely was ground off or cut off, milled off maybe, intentionally, because somebody probably was mounting it using something clamping here, and they had some reason that they needed this to be down against something. What these are handy for is they can be really handy for on the lathe. So what I've seen guys do is I've seen guys use a magnet to just be able to mount this quick right along the right along your waist somewhere, and then you can basically, as you move your carriage, you can have real precise control over how far you're moving your carriage back and forth. I hear a little bit of rain. I did check, and sure enough, we are under a severe thunderstorm watch, the whole area, and actually just to the west of here and to the north, they're under a watch, a warning. So, and up in central Maine, or northern central Maine, there was apparently reports of a tornado on Doppler radar. All right, so I digress. Back to the indicator, the The other thing I've seen done with these indicators is I've seen these indicators end up getting mounted like this, and you get a collar on here, make up a collar that clamps on here and that this rides up against, and now you've got, as you move your quill in and out, you can use a long throw indicator like this so you can see exactly how far you're drilling in, that kind of thing. So these are great. These long throw indicators are great. With the big dial like this, it's also kind of nice. These tend to be very expensive new. So when he advertised it in the video at 40 bucks, I made sure I was down there early that day, and it was one of the first people to walk in, and took one look at it and bought it. So he likes marking his stuff with this neon colored marker crayon crap. It actually comes off kind of easily, but it's just kind of, I don't know. I got so much stuff around here now with that stupid stuff on it. But anyways, even, you know, with this missing, didn't care. 40 bucks, real happy with that purchase. It's not often that I get something that I'm really happy about buying there. Oftentimes I'll buy something because I get, you know, okay pricing on it or something, but the steals are not the kind of stuff you're going to get like at some of these yard sales and garage sales, and even the flea market I do better than there. Alright, and then in that video I saw a box of Collets. He's always got some Collets laying around, but they were all cheapos, and then he had gotten in a fresh box of Collets, and actually this tray had a bunch of Collets, and I had seen several Collets for holding hex shapes and things like that, square and hex, and I didn't have any of those Collets that size, that type I mean, so I think they were 5C. So I really wanted to get those, but I wasn't the very first guy in that day, and the guy, like the first or second guy in, he went over and scooped the Collets. So I kind of missed out on that. But the one he left behind that I did decide to buy is this one here. This is a South Bend 1/16 inch 5C Collet, but what I thought was kind of cool is that's solid brass. And not quite sure the purpose of having a solid brass collet. Man, it's starting to pour. I would say that the thunder and lightning will be along shortly. Anyways, so well, I guess the idea is that this is not going to mar the surface of something, a softer metal maybe. So anyways, we got that. That was the only collet I got. And then just for the heck of it, I said, well, what do you want for this? And I think he said like $2. It's a little metal stand for collets that he had there. So I grabbed that. And then on his junk table that he usually marks things for $1 a piece or whatever, he had, I think the items on the table were like 50 cents a piece or some really, really low. And I happened to spot this screwdriver that made it to the table because it is a New Britain. It's not really a known name brand. You know, it's not the kind, not like he's going to throw his Snap-on screwdrivers on that table, or even good Craftsman ones for that matter. Screwdrivers typically, when they end up on that table, they're usually such pieces of junk. They've already, you know, been ground down and abused. This one, made in the USA, and it's an excellent shape. So I figured, all right, take that. Oh, okay. On the Collets, he had a couple others in there that were regular collets that needed to be cleaned up, and I think they were hard-inch, so good quality collets. But the day that I was there, I asked him how much they were, and he said $2.50 a piece, and all of the odd-shaped ones that I had wanted were gone, and I just wasn't, you know, I bought the indicator, and I just was like, eh. I said to him, I says, well, I says, if I take more than, you know, if I take a bunch of them, you do them for $2 a piece. And he said no, he wasn't in the mood. So I just said, I think he made some kind of comment like, come on, I got to make some money on him or something like that. So I just decided to pass that day. But then, that was a few weeks ago. This is actually stuff that I hadn't gotten around to showing for a while now. Then, just like last week, I went back, and I didn't find much at all, but I went back over to where the collets were, and I noticed he still had these collets. Oh, he had a box that was marked $2 each, and it had a bunch of high-speed steel used cutters in there. And as I was picking through them, I spotted this, and I quickly deduced that that is a mandrel, a tapered mandrel, or I guess maybe arbor you could call it. Anyways, it's got a diameter that decreases from one end to the other, and what you would do is you would press like a gear blank onto this, and then now you could mount this between centers maybe on your indexer or something like that. But most of you guys know what these are, so I'm not going to go too far into that. But this needs to be cleaned up, but it isn't rusted. Very little surface rust on it. It's actually underneath here. It's in good shape. This is a B1147 made by the made by the Cleveland Twist Drill Company, CTD. So it's good quality. I've got a few of these. I don't know if I've got this size or not, but for $2 I grabbed that. And then I went through, and then I asked him again, if I took all of them, would he go $2 a piece? I said all except the one. There was one that was really rusted, so I left that one behind. And now, being that it was a few 2-3 weeks later, I guess he had decided most of the stuff had been cherry picked, and he was willing to move them for $2 a piece. So I took all of these for $2 a piece. This is a 31/32 Hodge 5C. Okay, so that I'll keep for myself. And then the rest of these are 2J collets. So I have no idea what these are for, and I'm just going to turn around and flip these. Probably eBay these suckers. So if anybody could tell me what 2J collets are typically used for. Greg, you watching? I don't really have a use for 2J collets because I have no idea what these would fit into. They've got surface rust on them, but I think they'll clean up and still be usable collets. And the thing is, I went on eBay and checked and found the only used 2J collets I could find on there. The guy was selling them for $12.50 a piece, and he was actually selling them. Now, whether or not I don't have the key sizes that people are going to want or not, I have no idea. But for $2 a piece, I took a chance on these. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I basically paid $14 for these. And these here, I'll throw them on eBay when I get a chance, clean them up a little bit and see what they'll do. Looks like a lot of these are the same size. Oh, these are all Hodge, by the way. I guess I should have led with that. So I have 5 inch and 3/8 size and 1 inch and 1/8. So not exactly what you would call, not exactly a cornucopia. Let's see, I think that might be it. Yeah, I guess that's it for this, for this particular episode. So I guess that's going to be a wrap. I've got some more stuff I just acquired. I did get a few items at the Quinnebog Valley Engineer Association summer flea market and tractor show. Unlike the spring show, it did not rain. And boy, I'll tell you, I would have rather it rained. It was so hot. The sun was so strong. I could feel it burning the back of my neck, even though I was wearing sunscreen. And it was hot, and it was the kind of hot where it just gets, by 11 o'clock, it was miserable. That can actually help too. Sometimes you get some deals. But anyways, I've got some items coming up from that. That'll probably be a few weeks away before you see that. I try and spread these out a little bit, and drop in a few videos of other subjects in between. Although right now I think the old Merc one, the Merc Tower of Power series, is pretty much probably commandeering most of the time here on the channel. So for those guys who like that series, so that's great. For the rest of you, I apologize. I will try and sprinkle some more stuff in here and there. it's just been so hot outside, I haven't really felt like doing anything out there as far as like working on the Oliver, or I've got that carburetor for the CR250. I've got that ready to be reinstalled and try starting that bike to see if that bike's going to run. Haven't had a chance to do that again because the heat is nasty. But who knows? Maybe I've already got a video up by the time this airs and is edited. Maybe I will have played a little leapfrog and put a video of that bike starting attempt in front of this. I have no way of knowing what's going to come next. Take care.